Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast. It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got them for a rep. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It is Winged Nation presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength, talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week, and we are so glad that you joined us. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post here. We've got a great program because we are going to talk to Lance Dewease, who had a big win.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then one of our faves, yes, indeed, Jeff Swindell. Okay. So we don't know where we're going to go in our conversation with Jeff.
Nope, you never do.
There could be some racing talk.
Some politics.
There could be some politics. Yes. There could be some bleeder talk as well. So, Jeff Swindell going to join us and all of that. So it is great. We are so glad you joined us. It is Wing Nation. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post here. How are you? Everything good in your world?
Good, very good. Yourself?
Good. Oh, fantastic. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's like always good. Always good. Did you see that Richmond? They did the 4-wide salute with the NASCAR cars, trying to be as good as the World of Outlaws.
They did. Cool
okay,
kids.
now, I mean, I'm not that NASCAR versus World of Outlaws. Yeah. Okay? But when it came to that 4-wide salute, they need to tighten it up on the NASCAR side a little bit.
There's work to be done.
I was going to tweet my seat because we do that on our MAV TV show. Okay, so they come off from turn number 4 and they weren't gathered up. They were just kind of getting their poop in a pile, if you will, with the 4-wide. So I'm like, okay, and they went across the line and they just got it done then. And I'm like, okay, I'll catch them the next time. Well, they broke rank on the backstretch, and I didn't get a 4-wide tweet your seat. So
well, when you only do it once, maybe more
exactly.
than once now.
Well, they did 5-wide at Auto Club. They nailed that.
Yeah.
They nailed that. So we'll have to see. But, I mean, it was good. A good weekend in Richmond. Always fun. Love going up there to the capital city of Virginia, the Commonwealth of Virginia, and it was great. Hey, before we get into anything else today, I want to mention, and we are thinking and praying, Jan McMahon, of course, Paul McMahon's wife, Braden and Kylie's mom, one of our favorite families. They've been very out in their battle with cancer. Today is final treatment day, so at some point she's going to be ringing the bell. And we wish her well on this treatment and the after effect on it. Most importantly, we wish her well in victory over cancer.
Absolutely.
And there are no finer people on the planet than the McMahons. And we are just expecting and planning for victory over this.
Yeah.
So that as we move forward, it is a success story. It is an overcoming story. But today rings the bell for Jan.
I don't know if you've ever been with anyone when they ring the
I
bell.
never have. You have, yes.
Yeah. My friend Sherry and unfortunately some family members, but it's just so emotional, but it's such a celebratory, in that moment, it's a celebration. So certainly thinking of them today.
We certainly are. That is for sure. So all the best to the McMahons as they continue to work through the process in this today. And we look forward to it. They're very open on Twitter, so if you follow on Twitter, make sure you follow along. They've already posted some stuff this morning, and I don't know the timeline. They might be in the middle of it as we speak now, but certainly do wish the best as well. Let's take a look at our Classic Ink Screen Printing and Embroidery Hot Topics. We talked about the Asparagus Cup last week. Okay,
fried asparagus.
I don't know how all the shenanigans went. But I do know Gary's boy, Gio Selzy, walked out of there with $25,000.
That's a good weekend.
$10,000 on Friday night, $15,000 on Saturday. The youngster has some
17 years old.
17 years old. What's this? I don't even know what a 54-year-old would do with $25,000, not a 17-year-old. Okay? I would like to find out. So, Gio, if you're watching and you don't have any plans with it, I think Dominic was funny. Someone posted that question, what is a 17-year-old? And Dominic posted, give it to your father, which I think Gary gave a here. So, and it was with a family car. And we talked about the McMahons. We love the Selzy family. Yep. Another one of those families that just share them being them. And, boy, I'm telling you, young Gio, though, gosh, can he wheel a car.
Very talented.
Oh, my gosh. And then Dominic, I'm excited about what he's got going on as well, staying out in California. In Ohio, the big winners, Byron Reed, Cap Henry, and Danny Muma picked up the win. And our guests today on the show were big winners. We've got Lance Dewease. He won at Port Royal, Keith Kaufman Classic. Did you see that? Did you
I watched the highlights.
You watch. We're gonna listen to that along the way here. And then Jeff Swindell won the mower race. So there you have a Classic Ink screen printing and embroidery for great hats, for T-shirts, for sweatshirts, for towels, hoodies, whatever you want. They have it. Whether you're a racing team or you have a church league or a business, you can check them out. That's who we use when we do all of our Wing Nation gear. And we appreciate everyone sending pictures of your Wing Nation Pennsylvania Posse gear.
Shirts.
Yes, great stuff. But you can find out everything you want with Classic Ink at www.classicinkusa. That's classicinkusa.com. We need to step away, but before we do, we mentioned this. It was the Speed Palace. It was Port Royal Speedway. It was the Keith Kaufman Classic, the Ollie's Bargain Outlet All-Star Circuit of Champions. Lance Dewease, Bird Dog, and Danny Dietrich on the next to last lap, coming to the white flag. Speed Shift TV, Blake Anderson with the call. It's our Dryden Diesel All Death-Defying Move of the Week.
And now for the Dryden Death-Defying Move of the Week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
Dewease to the high side. It's a heavyweight title bout off of turn number 4. White flag flying. Lance Dewease to the lead at the white flag. The crowd goes crazy.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Death, the official death of the world of outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
10 tours, over 200 nights of racing. The American Sprint Car Series is back for its 28th year. Whether you're enjoying the Lucas Oil American Sprint Car Series National Tour at Williams Grove, Eagle Raceway, Skagit Speedway, or any of the 9 ASCS regional tours across Arizona, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and beyond, winged and even non-winged, there's a race happening near you. Check online for scheduled details at ASCSRacing.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And when you can't be there live, catch the National Tour and select regional events on RacingBoys.com.
The Win a Z06Corvette.com sweepstakes to benefit the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa is underway. Go to WinAZ06Corvette.com to find out how you can win the Torch Red 2019 Z06 Corvette that is on display now in the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. The winner will be announced Saturday night, August 10th during the 59th Annual Knoxville Nationals. Visit WinAZ06Corvette.com to win this awesome ride.
Is your check engine light on? Don't ignore it. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today and let our professional parts people scan your vehicle for free. We'll retrieve the codes, discuss possible solutions, and even help you find a professional technician if needed. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts today for our free check engine light help. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Red Brand Fence, the most durable, dependable, and safest fence in the world. Top horse farms use Red Brand Fence to safeguard their equine investments. Cattlemen install it to ensure their cattle are safe. Racetracks around the world use it to protect spectators, fans, and crews. For over a century, Red Brand's quality has been used internationally for countless uses. Red Brand Fence, the most trusted name in fence. Explore our products at redbrand.com.
Hi, I'm Kerry Madsen, and you're listening to Wing Nation.
The Madman bringing us back. We're glad you joined us. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post here. We're talking to a bunch of winners this week. It is the Red Brand Fence hotline that we're going to, picking up the big win in the Keith Kaufman Classic up at the Speed Palace. Lance Dewease is on the line. Hello, Lance. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
Well, congratulations, Lance, when you roll out to a new season, okay? How good is it in, I believe, your second race out? How comforting, what is a good feeling of parking it on the front stretch early in the season, knowing that 69K is looking pretty good at this point?
Oh, it's always great when you win. It don't matter if it's beginning of the season, end of the season. It was nice. We weren't very good. We were good, but we weren't great. And it's always nice to get a win. We caught a lucky break there a little bit with the caution to have a shot at Danny, and up to that point, we weren't really going to do nothing with him.
Lance, that pass that you made on Danny was just incredible. As a driver from a long time ago, to work that line and to run faster than the person on the bottom and only be one lane up, how do you do that? Yeah. How do you do that?
Well, Erin, it's a lot of experience, as you would know, and it's my style, the car. Actually, earlier in the race, if anybody watched the whole race, when I got the second, earlier in the race, I could do that. And I got to Danny doing it, but I only could do it for a couple laps and it would go away on me. And I think there was either overheated tires doing it, or since mainly everybody was running the bottom, I think it got dirtied out there a little bit and you just couldn't do it. And we used to do that stuff a lot at Hagerstown, like during Oktoberfest when it rubbers up. We could, if your car's right and freed up right, you can enter in off somebody's right rear and beat them to the middle of the corner. And once you get there alongside them, it's hard for them to pick the throttle back up hard enough to beat you off, because you can just kind of keep them pinched down, and the air's off the right sideboard of their car, which kind of unhooks the cars a little bit. So there's a lot of little things, but I knew I only had one shot at that, and that was it.
The mind of a race car driver fascinates me. I know Erin being an engineer, she's talking about winging off from wind and everything like that. It's just fascinating all that goes into it. But part of that is obviously your experience with it, Lance. But and I know you said you guys struggled a little bit, but it looked like Davey and Donald had a pretty good race car for you, though, to give you the chance to do that.
Yeah, we were okay all night. We just never was like we were last year yet, which is only our second race out, and the cars are a little different with the added cage supports in there, makes them a little different. It's a new year, so everything's a little different. Track surfaces are different. Tires always a little different, even though they're the same tires. Everything's a little different, and we just haven't raced enough to get it dialed in. We were pretty good all night, but we just didn't have the long speed which normally we're really good at, is the long run speed, and I just didn't feel like we had that, all night. Even in the heat race or even the feature, we were really good short runs and could go good on starts, but we just didn't have that long speed in the car like we're used to having.
Lance, when you aren't running a full schedule and you're only your second night out, how closely do you pay attention to what else is going on? Do you watch Dirt Vision? Are you going to the races? Like, how do you keep up and you're not there, but yet you come out and win 2 nights in?
Well, the best thing anybody's ever come up with is Dirt Vision and Speed Shift TV.
Yes, we agree.
Yes.
Because I use it all the time. And not just, I watch it all winter long, whenever they're racing down in Florida and all. But I use it. I look at every race that we ran last year that's available to me. I've done that for every year. We use it to our advantage, trying to learn where I need to be better or any mistakes I made or where the car looks like it needs to be better. And I'm sure you've probably seen Danny's tweet earlier where he's watched it since Saturday's feature, trying to figure out maybe what he could have done differently. I look at that same video and watching those last 2 laps and seen some things that I maybe even could have done a little different on that last lap that maybe made it a little bit easier to pass him. But it's a learning process. And I've said this numerous times now is, when I was growing up and started racing, I wish this stuff was around, because it would make if you took the time and put the effort to it, you could use it to your advantage. And we've been doing that for 3 years now. We use every ounce of the video that we can get to my advantage and our team's advantage, and just to, where am I messing up? What am I doing wrong? Where does somebody else beat me? Just little things. Where did I lose time in time trials? Okay, I didn't quite maybe enter high enough, or I overdrove the entry of the corner. You can learn so much by watching the videos that it's just amazing. You don't even have to watch yourself. You can just watch other people and learn what's fast and not fast.
Lance, listening to you talk about this, you have the motivation of an 18-year-old kid, though. I mean, seriously, there's a point in all of our lives where it's like, okay, maybe I'm going to take a night off and watch Netflix and have some popcorn. But I just love the passion that's coming through your phone that this sport, you still really have a huge passion for what you do, obviously.
Oh, yeah, I love the sport. I mean, ever since I strapped in a sprint car, it's all I've ever wanted to race. And, there's a reason why the NASCAR stars, certain ones, want to race their sprint cars. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason for that. And to me, they're the baddest things around. And there's just so much fun to race and drive, and it's just great. And, as Erin would know, because she raced, I've only raced a few other items, nothing that much, but I can't believe there's anything better than hopping in a sprint car and driving one. Erin could probably vouch a little bit better since she's raced other things than I have.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. One of my favorite tweets you've had recently was just a video of you putting heat in the motor, and it's just a bunch of smiley faces. That's like one of my favorite sounds in the world, to hear that motor lean down and just hear it. So absolutely agree. Lance, one of the things I noticed watching the highlights from the race was the fans' reaction when you took the lead. I mean, the support you have in Pennsylvania, you and Davey and Donnie, talk about what that means. I mean, you are like the crowd favorite in most cases.
Well, I think there's multiple reasons for that. I've always tried to be very well respected of people and try not ever be cocky or arrogant. And I think that's built my fan base to people who are a lot like me, just pretty mild-mannered people. And also, I think that night there on Saturday night, there even probably some Lance Dewease fans were rooting for me. Non-Lance Dewease fans were rooting for me after what happened with Danny and Macri with contact.
Mm-hmm.
It was a racing deal. It's just racing. But, people look at it differently and think, Danny took him out, and which he didn't. And, that made that pass a lot sweeter for some people than maybe they wouldn't have been rooting for me to begin with.
I think I know you're right. I know you're right on that. Lance, I want to spin forward here. And you guys, the whole conversation, and you guys have finally gone a little bit more public with it than you were in the past, about Knoxville. Of course, there's $20,000 that Priority Aviation has put up with that Sprint Car Hall of Fame challenge. Where are you guys at with that now at this point? I know it's a couple months down the road, but for an event like Knoxville, you do have to start planning. How are things going? What are the challenges? What are the things you're looking at as you get closer and closer to that time?
Oh, we're working towards it. We're hotel rooms are booked. We're putting everything in place. But with that said, a lot can change between now and then. We all know. We're really working on trying to get our engine program a little bit better. Davey's working really hard with that, and we got some other things in the process. So it's just a matter of if everything falls in place, and we get to July, middle of July, we'll know for sure. By that point, beginning of July, we'll have a really, really good idea. I mean, right now, as far as I'm concerned, we're going. That's how we're looking at it. But there's a lot of things has to happen, and we can't have no bad things, especially with the engine program. And if we do, that really puts us way behind. So we actually changed our schedule a little bit this year to help with the engine stuff a little bit. We're running a little bit lesser races as far as the local stuff, as far as the lower paying stuff, and just concentrating on the higher paying stuff more than we have in past.
Now, what happens if you win the Priority Aviation sponsorship? I mean, you're up there in the running with memberships. I feel like, if you win it, you don't have a choice.
Well, I mean, at that stage, we'll already be committed anyhow.
Yeah.
Because that ends what, July 20th something, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll know by then.
Yeah. It's kind of it's probably a good thing they run that late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a bad thing because that's only like 2 weeks before Knoxville, or 3 weeks, whatever the date is.
Yeah.
But I mean, by that stage, unless something, dramatic happens, in between those dates, we'll already have our commitment if we're going or not, just because, all the other planning of airplanes and, plane rides and stuff like that, flights and stuff for everybody involved.
Oh, My gosh, you guys are going to drive Sprint Car World crazy. You really are. I mean, and you're already doing it by just winning races and doing what you're doing. So it's phenomenal. Lance, we appreciate the time. Congratulations on the win on Saturday night at Port Royal. And we wish you the best. I know the Outlaws will roll in there in a few weeks' time, so you'll get to see how you stack up there. And I know you're going to Mansfield. You got some other big things planned along the way. We wish you the best, continued success, and our fingers are crossed that the whole Knoxville thing works out, but we wish you guys the best as you roll on.
Well, thanks, Erin. Thanks, Steve, for having me on. Enjoy it as usual. And, we're just looking forward to go racing and having fun as we have the last 3 years. And, try and keep those older guys that stand next to me in Victory Lane happy.
There you go. Yeah, how about that? Keith Kaufman and Lance Dewease standing in Victory Lane. Nice stuff. Thanks, Lance.
Thank you.
There we go. Lance Dewease joining us on the Red Brand Fence Hotline. I am listening to him. I'll go back and I mentioned it. Listening to him, the enthusiasm with watching tape.
The dedication.
I am telling you, at some point, most people lose that dedication, that commitment, that enthusiasm to it. And to listen to him, my gosh, he is just boned up on everything that's going on, not only himself, but everyone else too.
I mean, that's incredible. And that's why he's as good as he is with the experience, but that dedication, that focus, and to watch videos and to go back and analyze yourself, analyze every other driver. I mean, it just says a lot about him.
And they're a half-mile track program.
Oh,
Their wheelhouse is Williams Grove, and their wheelhouse is Port Royal. Okay, that little track in Iowa is a half-mile track also. It's. I mean, I love the California guys, but that's a big jump for those quarter miles, those bull rings, to go to Knoxville. Lance has ran Knoxville. Lance, I think, had a top 5 finish. He had a pretty good.
Well,
he about won the thing a few years back. I think he finished second one time there. He's been good there. There's no denying that. Davies obviously won there. It was a few years ago. I mean, I am telling you, they get that motor program dialed in because half miles don't scare those boys. No. I mean, they get that motor program where they feel comfortable. This could be very interesting in August.
Oh, yeah.
Very interesting. And I am telling you, if the best thing that happens is they go out there and perform really, really well. I mean, this could be one that sends shockwaves throughout the world. I mean, it just is. It's crazy. You can't put the cart ahead of the horse. Okay, you can't put there is a lot of work to be done to make the decision to get to Knoxville. Once the decision is made, there's a lot of work to be done there. There's prelim nights and everything else. I'm telling you, if we're sitting there with 3 or 4 laps to go and that blue 69 is in the hunt, I am telling you what, the sprint car world will never be the same.
Pennsylvania will never be the same.
Oh, my God, Pennsylvania. Oh, dear God. Well, will there be anyone left in Pennsylvania? That's what I want to know.
They'll be on the road to Iowa.
They'll be on the road, so fantastic. Great stuff. Always appreciate Lance chatting with us. I know we went a little long. The good news is the next guy doesn't talk. Well, no, wait a minute. We need to step away because Jeff Swindell is coming up next.
For over 50 years, drivers in sprint car, midget, micro, modified, and even dirt lay model have taken the checkered flag on Weld racing wheels. Legendary drivers like Joe Saldana, Carl, Mark, and Steve Kinzer, Doug Wolfgang, and countless other racers have trusted Weld racing wheels for their superior strength and lightweight construction to finish ahead of the competition. With 50 years of race-winning engineering and technology, American-made Weld racing wheels are designed and built to withstand virtually any abuse you throw at them. Weld Racing, proven speed.
O'Reilly.
Restore your vehicle's lost power by cleaning your entire fuel system with Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner. Right now, buy 1 bottle, get 1 free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Keep your engine clean and improve performance with Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner. Buy 1, get 1 free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Red Brand Fence. Safe, durable, dependable, and long-lasting. Whether it's keeping horses, cattle, and livestock in or stopping predators, Red Brand is the best fence money can buy. Each inch of the woven wire is inspected for top quality before it's crowned with the trademark Red Top Wire. Red Brand Fence, the most trusted name in agriculture, residential, and commercial fence for over a century. For more information, go to redbrand.com.
Aggressive Hydraulics, where we engineer the cylinders that move your business. We specialize in designing and manufacturing purpose-built, application-specific hydraulic cylinders with superior precision and performance, making OEM products stronger, crafting cylinders that operate on a global basis in a wide variety of industries and applications. Get aggressive with your cylinder challenges. AggressiveHydraulics.com.
Hi, I'm Jeff Gordon, and now back to Wing Nation.
Thank you, Jeff. Welcome back. We're having a ball. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post talking. Of course we are. We're talking sprint car racing. And we had the chatty Lance Dewease on.
Yeah,
my gosh, he was
today.
a ball of fire today. So now we go to the even more chatty driver. The Red Brand Fence hotline is busy today. Fresh off from a trip to Victory Lane. Jeff Swindell's on the line. Hello, Jeff. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hey, well, thank y'all for having me.
Dude, I don't care where it is, when it is, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or Friday night, I guess it was. It's got to feel good to be back in Victory Lane, standing on the wing, waving a flag around.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we haven't been able to race too much here the last couple of years. Been so busy with our business, and so we just kind of slipped off there and slid her off into Victory Lane. I hadn't been in the car since October, so that was a pretty good start to the season.
I'd say. Sounds like certainly a great start to this season. Tell us a bit about the race. I couldn't find much on it. Fortunately, I was busy this weekend. But tell us about the race itself.
Well, basically, I went up to Kevin Gundaker's place up there, Tri-City Speedway, in just outside St. Louis. And I'd run up there forever with the Outlaws when it was a big track, and I'd never been to since they shortened it, made it a little more high banked. It's more like a 3/8 now, but pretty neat little racetrack. And we, a buddy of mine down here close to Memphis, built him a 410 last year. I drove for his dad back in the 80s, and then he started driving for him. And he's won a bunch of races around here locally, close to home. And so he put a car together and asked me if I'd drive it. And, whenever I wanted to around here. And if he decided he wanted to go to the racetrack, then he'd take my seat out and put his seat in, and he'd drive it. So we're just playing around. He's got 4 or 5 years on me, and so this one just worked out good. I kind of got caught up to where I could slip off there Friday, and we went up and everything worked out pretty good. We started third in the heat, won it. Was high point overall, and then he went up and redrew for us, and we had to start 8th. So we give him a lot of hell over that. That kind of screwed us up, but make an old man have to start way back there like that. But we got going pretty good. It took off, and the late models and the modifieds that run before us had been pretty slick, but they really dug the corners up. I think it was their first race of the year, so it was real soft underneath. So the corners just got really, really rough. I mean, some of the holes were foot deep and 2 foot wide and 10 foot long, so they were huge. So I kind of, as an old man, I kind of paced myself a little bit to start off with, and rode around back there 7th, 8th where we started, and until we finally found a good line and let them sort out, and then started picking them off. We had a couple of them fall out. The leader, actually, we were running him down, had a couple of cautions there close to the end, and he snookered me on the first restart, and then the second restart, we were all over him, and he ran out of fuel, I think, so he died and pulled off, and we went on and took the win. So it was a good run. I always like the rough tracks, but the older you get, the less you like them. But it makes it ride around back there in the back and having cautions, and I just really don't like this stuff. And then you got to start thinking, well, okay, think about this the right way. Figure out where you got to be and just put it right there. Because it's really hard to pinpoint these monsters when they get to run a little crazy when you get all these holes all over the track. So there are methodical tricks to trying to get through them holes, and I finally found me a good line and just worked our way right up through that.
I did watch, there was a video, a Monday morning recap video, and when there was Joey Mohan, who was the leader along the way. Jeff, I've never sat behind the wheel of a race car. Of course, Erin, she's a world-class sprint car racer here alongside of me.
Something like that.
Absolutely.
What is that like when you're coming to a restart and the guy in front of you runs? My gosh, you hung right there. Reflexes are pretty good for you, that's for sure.
Well, the older you get, the more scared you get, so you got to jump out of the way real quick. But he'd actually going into 3 on the before the restart there, he was wiggling the car back and forth a little bit, and I figured he was just kind of jacking with me, trying to get him another good jump. And then I got to thinking, well, he might be running out of fuel, because we've done run a lot of yellow flags, and So I was kind of watching him a little bit, but he did kind of take off there like he was going to go, and it slowed down there again. Some guys will do that to you, and they'll kind of get on it and then get off of it and then get back on it. He didn't get back on it, so I just got to make a quick dive to the right, and luckily didn't get over his right rear. And he turned pretty hard left into the infield, so that kind of helped out. I know they run all over each other behind us there. I saw in the video afterwards too. So it worked out good. We got a good launch, and the car went down straight really good. We had the car really nice all night. I basically had my exact setup. I won the race at the end of the year last year at Riverside Speedway in my 360, and the last one we ran over there. And so the car was set up identical. We brought it down here, and I scaled it out and actually used the same shocks and everything. So the car performed exactly like my 360 did over at Riverside last year. So it was fun to drive. Just two old guys in a little old closed trailer with a little open pickup, with a wing in the back of it. So, we went up, had fun, won the race, and went home.
So how many races do you have scheduled, or is it going to kind of base on how the business is going?
That's kind of the forefront of it. Going to try to run more races this year. He's wanting to race, as much as we can around here 410-wise. We don't have a lot of 410 stuff here close to home. MOA, and then we're going to pick up the Outlaw Show here at Riverside, my home track here. So I tend to get around that place pretty good. So hopefully we're a little down on power there. It's old Dash 12 motor, but Westfall freshened it up and put some tie valves in it this winter for us, and it runs pretty decent. So hopefully if we can just get qualified halfway with the Outlaws, then I think we can race with them over here at my home track. So then the next night they go up to Hobstadt up in Indiana, so we'll probably trail them up there and go run that one too. That's actually the track I won my very first ever sprint car race in back 30-something years ago, so whatever that is. But then I think we're going to try to do the Nashville race with Outlaws and pick up a few of the more races. So and then we got the 360 up here, the guys I've been driving for the last several years, the Hammers, and I've got it sitting here in the shop. I'm getting it ready right now, so we're going to try to run it a little bit more this year. So I'm hoping that we only run about 15, 16 last year, so I'm hoping to at least double that this year on races, and then try to get us a good motor to go do Knoxville Nationals again with the 410 and the 360.
Good God, you're the fountain of youth here going on with it, and I think that's we just talked to Lance Dewease, and he just and Lance is a pretty buttoned up kind of guy. He's just freaking giddy right now. He's all going. I
bet he is.
Well, yeah, you'd be too if you drove that car. We'd all be, yeah, no doubt. But
that thing flies.
Yeah, tell everyone about it. This thing. The passion is still, the fire's still burning for you, Jeff. It sounds like.
Oh, absolutely. I love driving race cars.
Yeah.
That was why I got into it originally, was because I loved it, and then it ended up making a living out of it. And then it became a job, and, you know how that always goes, that's always makes it kind of tough. But hey, it's been a good life. I've enjoyed doing what I've done, and if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have got my bleeder business going. And so racing's been a very, very good to me. Is that what he said? I can say that, something like that. I don't know, but no, just very, very blessed to be able to keep doing it and going to the racetrack and guys that want to put me in cars like that, and hopefully we'll get the Silver Crown car back out this year. Looks like we're probably going to end up missing Indy. They got some issues with the Toyota motor. I don't think they're going to have it back together in time for the last race at Indy, which I kind of hate missing that one. We've been doing the Silver Crown deal with them, with Hewitt and Kent Walters and Mark Smith for the last couple of years. So we'll just hopefully we'll be back for Springfield and DuQuoin anyway.
So speaking of the job, how is the bleeder business going? Every time I'm on Facebook, I see you congratulating another one of your winners. So it sounds like things are good.
Things are good. Like I said, very blessed, very blessed. When I started building that first one and had the idea to do it, it was basically for me. I wanted an advantage, and I wanted something that was easy to use. And when I plugged the first one in and it worked, and I sat back and was kind of amazed and realized that everybody was going to want that. And so we worked on getting the patents and stuff done and got that taken care of. Nobody knew I had it for a year. I'd sneak it into the right rear and shove the hubcap on it. I'd park out away from everybody all the time, so nobody even knew I was running it for a year. So it's been great. We're on our second generation bleeder now, and it's doing really well. And most of the sprint car races in the country, our parts are on their cars. There's only a few that are the top dogs that don't run them. And I think the other night, one night earlier this year, I think we had just about every outlaw at the show. And we're pretty much carrying 18 to 20 cars at most of those events. So, very, very, like I said, very blessed, and we're just plugging along. And like I said, we've been so busy, me and my son, that we just hadn't been able to get ahead of the game. So, which is good, but we're about to get to the point to where we're, within 2 or 3 days when somebody orders, and hopefully here in another week or two, we'll start having them on the shelf, maybe. So. The micros are picking up really good. That's taken a little bit of while for them guys to start getting hooked onto it, but a lot of them guys are starting to run them, and we're getting lots of orders on those. And then the midgets are doing real good too. So very blessed. We're looking at several other types of motorsports and actually some road style situations that we're working on some product too. So motorcycles and other things too. So. I'm just thrashing on a lot of different things right now, trying to get it all done.
Trying to get it all done and get some victory lane trips in the middle of it. That's for sure.
That's it. Have enough time to go do a little racing.
Yeah. Well, that sounds good. Well, Jeff, I tell you, congratulations. I love seeing victory lane shots of you in victory lane. I appreciate the time here today. We wish you continued success on and off the track as we roll through 2019.
Hey, thank you. I sure appreciate you guys. Give me a holler, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again soon.
Yes, we will. Thanks, man.
All right. Thank y'all.
And this takes the whole Lance Dewease thing that we talked about, and it's like, this is the passion of sprint car racing. At times, where in most lines of work, people are looking at slowing down. My God, look what Jeff has got going on, and not only the bleeder business and bikes and cars and trains and automobiles and everything else, but then it's like, and we're going to run a 360, and then we got the Silver Crown car and everything else. My God, he's going to need a personal assistant just to tend to the schedule.
Yeah. And both of them who we've talked to have a limited schedule, and they're still going out and winning. They still have the exact same amount of passion, if not more.
Well, he said something interesting, and we've talked to Paul McMahon about this. He said, I went through that phase where I had to make a living doing it, and you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Okay, and Paul McMahon has been at that stage where trying to make a living, and we had Paul on our MAV TV show, and he said, quite honestly, trying to make a living at it towards the latter stages when he was doing it for the career, there was a lot of moments in there that were not fun.
Yeah,
Paul has gone and gotten a real job now, and it's back to being fun again. I'm not advocating a guy not making a living in sprint car racing. If you want to make a living in sprint car racing, go make a living in sprint car racing, but with making a living in it, there comes some pressures and some stresses that maybe takes the passion out, where you get in a situation like Lance, you get in a situation like Jeff, you get in a situation like Paul, where all of a sudden you become that 18-year-old kid that's getting to climb in behind the seat of the hot rod again.
Yeah. And they both certainly sound like that
today.
today.
Man, I'm ready to go out. I'm 54 years old. I want a seat. I want to get going. I want to get what these guys have. Dang.
Fountain of youth.
Get my hair underneath the helmet.
Oh.
We need to step away. More Wing Nation is coming up in just a moment.
Since the dawn of American industry, Dryden was there as the country built its first roads, laid the blocks of its factories, and spanned rivers with new bridges and rails. Today, with Dryden's all technology, we instill this heritage into every Dryden oil, lubricant, fluid, and DEF product we make. Dryden is a tradition of performance with 21st century technology. Dryden, official motor oil of the World of Outlaws, and always American-owned and operated. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
Looking for custom racewear and embroidery? Do you want your race fans to represent your race team with trendy, original apparel? Contact Classic Ink USA, the new standard in custom screen printing and embroidery. Located in Greater Pittsburgh, Classic Ink USA's professional staff utilizes state-of-the-art facilities to transform your ideas into an attractive wearable piece. From custom track swag racewear to trendy quick crew wear, Classic Ink handles it all. Find out how you can get started. Contact Classic Ink USA screen printing and embroidery at the track and on your back. No matter what or where you race, Hefner Racing Products and HRP Wings has you covered. Check out the premier Shark Wing as well as other Sprint Car wings and components. Sprint Car, Mini and Micro Sprint Wings. And the HRP Original Recess Rivet Wing. All HRP wings are wind tunnel tested. HRP carries a full line of affordable, top-of-the-line, USA-built Sprint Car components. Shop online for all this and more at hrpracing.com. The Racer's Choice. Hefner Racing Products and HRP Wings.
Sage Fruit is a high-quality grower, packer, and shipper of Washington State apples, pears, and cherries. Sage Fruit believes in sprint car racing as a proud sponsor of sprint cars for the past 16 years and a partner of Wing Nation for the past 4 years. We love sprint car racing, and we're there for our sprint car fans. Sage Fruit works hard to deliver an exceptional eating experience. We value our relationship with sprint car fans and appreciate your continued support of Sage Fruit. Ask for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
Red Brand Fence, the most durable, dependable, and safest fence in the world. Top horse farms use Red Brand Fence to safeguard their equine investments. Cattlemen install it to ensure their cattle are safe. Racetracks around the world use it to protect spectators, fans, and crews. For over a century, Red Brand's quality has been used internationally for countless uses. Red Brand Fence, the most trusted name in fence. Explore our products at redbrand.com.
This is Terry McCarl, now a guy who's still trying to figure out what's up with that big right rear tire, and a lady who's tried to explain it to him for years. Steve Post and Erin Evernham.
Our buddy T-Mac bringing us back there. So glad you joined us. Erin Evernham and Steve Post here. Time to talk about the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. Of course, that's located right off turn number 2 at the famed Knoxville Speedway in Marion County at the Marion County Fairgrounds. Birthdays coming up later this week. W.C. Bud Winfield, Judd Phillips. But today would have been the birthday of Don Shepard. And one of the things I love about the Sprint Car Hall of Fame is that we love our drivers and we love talking about our drivers, but we also have a mechanics category. And Don Shepard is a class of 2011 in the mechanic. He was one of the top IMCA and USAC mechanics in the 60s. Listen to this list of drivers. Johnny Rutherford, Bobby Al Unser, Jim Hurtubise, Judd Larson, Roger McCluskey, Bob Wente, Johnny Parsons, and more. It's like, that's like a wing of the Hall of Fame that drove for this guy. No wonder he's in the Hall of Fame. They needed someone to fix their car. With owner Jack Colvin, Bobby Unser. Now, they won the USAC Sprint Car Championship at 65. Bobby didn't win the championship as the driver. He was at Pikes Peak doing stuff, so they had multiple drivers, but they won the owner's championship. One of the things that was stated in his induction write-up was never a rich owner, but attracted top talent and helped mold some of the most legendary racers in the sport. And with that list, he did.
Yeah.
Now, talk about just normal people. When he retired from racing, he opened a service station, okay? And he did it like a gas station there in somewhere in Indiana. And then he got one of those carnival stand trucks, okay? And he would go to carnivals and flea markets and sell hot apple dumplings and ice cream. And during the month of May, he would sell them right off from turn number 4 at Indianapolis. I guess Bobby Unser would go out and have some, and they'd sit and talk about old times, too. Him and Bobby were pretty tight. This is the story. He died at 80 years old in 2015, a life apparently well-lived.
Yeah.
And this is why the Sprint Car Hall of Fame is so important. It's guys like this, guys like Don Shepard. I'll be totally honest with you. Up until I started researching this, the name Don Shepard meant nothing to me.
Yep.
Now when you read it and you see it, my gosh, this is a guy that paved the way for what we're doing now. And those are the folks that are honored at the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. You can find out more information at sprintcarhalloffame.com. I'd like to also remind you that you can get your Wing Nation apparel at wingednation.com. So that's www.wingnation.com. Now, next week, you need to tune into MRN all next week because we're headed on the NASCAR side to Talladega Super Speedway. And next week, is Procore Week here on MRN, so we have you covered from pillar to post, if you will. So it is going to be a great week as well. During the commercial break, you would have heard from our friends at Hefner Racing Products. They've been a partner of ours, an advertiser of ours for years and years and years. Love those guys. And finally, we got them back in the house here on some stuff. I've been working on some projects with them, and they are back. And one of the things they're doing is they bring us the upcoming calendar. So coming up here with the HRP Racing Products upcoming calendar, Thursday, Wing Nation weekend, we have Byron Reed joining us. We're going to talk a little Ohio sprint car racing. Oh, love talking to Byron Reed. Are you kidding me? I mean, he's been doing it for 30 years. Yeah, I mean, he is really, really good. And then on Saturday on Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV, Darren Pittman is going to join us. Man, what a start he's had to the year.
Incredible start.
Oh, my gosh. Pittman's another one that's on fire. All these veterans on fire. Hey, thanks for joining us here today on Wing Nation.
Wing Nation has been brought to you by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Watch Wing Nation Saturday mornings on MAV TV. You can also find Wing Nation on wingnation.com or your favorite podcast provider. Wing Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.